So guys, today we're going to do a video on Uncharted 4
watching.
using the RTX 3060 Ti. We're going to be starting it off with 1080p. Oh, I missed. We're going to be starting it off with 1080p at high settings. Just going to jump into the settings real quick. Playing the game at 1080p. This game doesn't have a full screen mode. You only have borderless windowed and windowed mode. So, kind of forced into this. We're playing at 1080p and at the high preset. Let's jump into it.
See, it's all in the wrist.
Let's go ahead and run through this area. And we'll go ahead and see our performance numbers there, because again, this area is not too intensive. Okay, swinging over this random tree, this random branch over here.
Shh, hold up.
There we go. We are finally up 110 FPS. This game does look quite good, even at 1080p. And FPS is what, like 40-50 FPS below the 3080 right now. We are in a different area compared to the 3080, so I guess it's not a perfect comparison, but still.
Jesus,
Getting 100 FPS here.
That Renner thug was packing some serious heat.
Ooh, lemon tree.
Should have brought guns.
Can I steal?
Sam, we're gonna pull this off so smoothly we won't need them.
I hope you're right.
I've already seen the quality of DLSS in this game, and at 1080p, the grass and the bushes don't look the best. But playing the game at 1440p, and especially 4K, makes DLSS look way, way better. Alright, we're gonna jump down from the window. Very nice. Now we're gonna hold Q, and we're going down. Fell down. We're gonna swing across. One more time, just to make sure we're safe. Let's go. Nice.
All right, come on down.
I'm an overachiever. I jumped up top. Game's running fantastically, super smooth, no lagging, no stuttering at all. Same as the 3080. But we'll see how it does at those high resolutions at 1440p and 4K.
Yeah, tell me about it.
And ultra settings wasn't really too much of a degrade in performance either. We were still holding about the same as what we had before. Maybe a slight decrease, like 10 to 20 FPS. Then there's easier scenes we're getting around 130, 140 FPS, but on average you're going to be sitting around 100 to 110 FPS. Then if you have the heavier scene, you're going to probably fall down into the 90s, maybe the 80s in your worst case scenario, I guess. Good time to go ahead and push it up to ultra settings. Won't see too much of a decrease, I would imagine. Yeah, basically the same frame rate as what we had at high settings. Okay, we're indoors now. Ooh, getting some stutters here and there. But we're sitting at 80 FPS. GPU is fully maxed out as well. VRAM is sitting at, wait, 7.5 gigs already? Wow. 140p and 4K will definitely be having some troubles, I guess, because our VRAM is almost maxed out. We only have 430 megabytes left. Getting around 80 FPS indoors though. Now pushing up to 110 again. So again, yeah, easier scenes going to be at 120, 130, average around 100 FPS, heavier scenes in the 80s. And that's at high / ultra settings, because those two are very similar. Kind of feeling some stuttering here though, I gotta say. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and test out DLSS as well while we're here. Even though we don't really need it, FPS is quite good still, but might as well try it out. Quality mode with FSR. We're getting bottlenecked. So yeah, this area we are getting, oh there we go, now we are bumping up to 120 FPS, so that specific area where we were looking, we're getting a GPU bottlenecked, but now we're getting 120 to 130 FPS. The quality indoors looks quite good actually.
So close.
Maybe a bit of an issue around the hair.
Well, don't.
But other than that, honestly not too bad. And we're getting 120 FPS. I've already seen how this looks outside with the RTX 3080, and the grass and the bushes don't look the best. They kind of smear, especially if you're running past them. But indoors it's not that bad. Solly does look a bit blurry when I was walking up to him, to be honest.
Okay.
It's not perfect, that's for sure, but if you want to get extra frames, then this is a good way of getting those extra frames.
Great.
You also have the option of playing on low settings instead of ultra, play on medium, or a mix of medium and high. And those will give you a decent FPS boost as well. Alright, now we're playing the game at 1440p at high settings. DLSS is disabled, FSR is disabled as well, high settings.
Food down here to feed a small
And
town.
I wonder if they host weddings.
let's go.
Oh yeah, they're a full service site.
We're getting 100 FPS here, so a bit higher than what we had outside of this room.
But do they have a DJ?
But let's continue. It's kind of weird how good of an FPS we're getting in here. Getting 120 FPS. That's what we had at 1080p outside. So I'm gonna go double check the settings real quick. What do we get with DLSS then? Okay, 145. So it is disabled. It's not bugging out or anything. I just wanted to double check that it was running perfectly. I think for sure we're gonna fall into the 60s once we run into a more intensive situation, because this is not
Sam,
pushing
up
it
here.
as hard as I was
Boost you up.
expecting it, to be honest.
All right.
The game freeze though? What was that? Yeah, I've been playing for a little bit now, and FPS is about the same, sitting in the 80s. At worst, the low 80s, like 81, 82. But it's running quite well at 440p as well. I would give it around a 20 FPS headroom. This is the correct way. I'm surprised, honestly, that I found the right way. But yeah, I would give it a 20 FPS headroom just in case of a heavy scene. But overall, it's running quite good. I wanted to double check that the game is actually applying the settings, because I'm kind of surprised with how well it's running at 440p.
God, why did I
And yeah, it is. Oh, get up, get up. There you go. Very nice, Nathan. Kind of surprising how ultra settings and high are basically the same frame rate, maybe slightly lower. But quality isn't, I guess, massively improved either, I guess. So I guess it makes sense. And I did restart, like I said before, to double check that it was applying, and then yeah, it is applying. Frame rate's about the same. The game is quite hard to test because, you know, I've got to keep playing, but there's a lot of slowdowns and a lot of stalling between like actual good areas, so it's a bit of a pain. It's taking a long time, but we'll push through it. Alright, this is a good time to go ahead and test out DLSS as well. Display, DLSS, quality. And honestly, right now, up close, it's looking quite good. Lighting on these panels is a bit off, but other than that, the actual quality of the textures are looking quite good. We're getting a bit of shimmering though, I think. Bit distracting, but not too bad. Honestly, I would just play it native if it was me, but if you really must have a high frame rate experience, then go ahead and use DLSS. But I think
Here we go. Now,
a good majority of people with this card will be playing at 1080p anyway, so you'll be getting 110 FPS at that point. Let's go ahead and play the game at balanced DLSS as well. Again, yeah, that's what I thought. Honestly, quality between the quality mode and balance mode is basically the same in these games.
gotcha.
It was the same case in Spider-Man and God of War. And you're getting a decent FPS boost as well on top of what you already had at quality. So if you're gonna use DLSS, just go with balance. I was getting kind of worried that I was like, there's no way we're getting this good of a frame rate at 4K. Alright, now playing the game at 4K. High settings. VRAM is definitely going over our limit now. Wow, 30 FPS, huh? That's a bit of a decrease compared to what we had at 1440p. Went from what, like 80 FPS, 70 to 80 FPS to 30 FPS now, almost 40 FPS. It's obviously still fine since the PS5 runs at 30 FPS, I believe, at 4K. But if you want to get 60 FPS, DLSS will be a must. Come on, jump across. Let's go. That would hurt. Oof, we did it. Nice. Let's keep going. But I think honestly though, even if you want to play at 30 FPS here and you're cool with it, I would go ahead and enable DLSS just in case of an intensive situation, just so you can have some extra headroom, you know? You don't want to fall into the 20s. What's this? That's a light. I got bait. I thought it was a reward, man. I got baited. That's not fair. Come on, go, 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 go. Nice, Nathan. Let's go. I'm gonna go ahead and play out ultra settings. VRAM is fully maxed out now. And then I'm gonna go ahead and enable DLSS and see what we get. Yeah, look at that. 28 FPS from what, like 35, 40 FPS almost.
Get a good vantage point.
Oh, this is very choppy at this point. Can I knock this guy out or what? Or is this... Yeah, I can. Nice. Hey, where did your friend go? I think he might have disappeared. You're next. Bye-bye. I think he's doing just fine.
I'm on my way. Heading to higher ground to get my bearings.
Alright, yeah. FPS is definitely lower at Ultra. Whoa. 25 FPS here. Good time to go ahead and enable DLSS. Gonna start it off with quality. Not a consistent 60, but the game does look quite good still. It looks just as good as native 4K. Maybe in some areas it's worse, but for the most part it does look just as good as native 4K. But I think you might as well play at balanced DLSS, because quality and balance basically look the same,
Okay.
but
Everything's fine.
get more frames.
Good
We're
look
getting
at me.
40 FPS now in
Pretty
here.
cool.
Getting some weird performance out of this game, not gonna lie. We're getting 40 FPS now. So only a 10 FPS increase in the scene. Kinda inconsistent, I can't even lie. Okay, it's gonna play a balanced DLSS now. And we gain 10 FPS. So you want to be careful at 1440p. You might be running into these kind of performance numbers. Alright, now playing the game at performance DLSS, we're getting 70 to 80 FPS. The game does look
Ground sign thing.
very good as well still.
Good news is I got a gun. See you soon.
That was close. Alright, I think that's it for the video, guys. If you made it this far, appreciate you. As always, if you like what you see, then like and sub the channel as well. See you next time.